So I have a question about media, particularly where to draw the line in terms of what's not a good idea for a Catholic to be consuming. It's funny that you were talking about 70s music a minute ago because, like an example would be David Bowie. I think he has some great music. But I learned he was at least partly involved in the occult. And for artists like that who are involved in the occult, is there a risk of demonic influence by consuming the stuff that they produce, or a normalization of the occult by consuming their material? And then the other category that I'm concerned about are artists who make media that doesn't impact you in a negative way, but that may impact others in a negative way. And so by contributing to the promotion of those artists by consuming their material, is that somehow problematic?
Mm-hmm. No, good question. So I would say this: a lot of times when we talk about, can I consume this media, or can I consume this kind of stuff, or who the artist might be involved with the demonic, we actually have a very good scriptural reference for this very question. And that would go to 1 Corinthians chapter 8, where St. Paul answers the question, can one consume meat that had been previously used as a sacrifice to other gods? If there's sacrifices to idols, and Paul says, well, an idol isn't real. These are demons. These other gods don't exist, and people sacrifice meat to them. Can we, if we have access to the meat or could purchase it or acquire it, can we eat it? Because in the ancient world, meat can be pretty expensive and hard to come by, and it's good to be able to get a source of protein to get you through the day. It's not as easy as we have to access that here today. But do you want to be involved with the demonic? Do you want to be supporting that in some way? And Paul basically says, yeah, you can. He says you can do that, but just be careful that it's not going to lead others astray. He says in 1 Corinthians 8, verses 8 through 9, food will not commend us to God. We are no worse off if we do not eat, and no better off if we do. Only take care lest this liberty of yours somehow become a stumbling block to the weak. So you would just have to say, all right, is what I'm doing, could it scandalize someone else and lead them to make a bad decision there? So if you can listen to music and the artist is engaged in sins, it might be the occult, artists in the music world, in Hollywood, they're probably involved in all kinds of sinful stuff, not just the occult, right? But you consuming that material is at best, it's a very, very remote cooperation with evil. So it's not something that would be sinful. You're free to say, I want to have nothing to do with that, but you're not sinning if you have good reasons to take that material. And it could just be that you appreciate their creativity. An artist doesn't have to be free from sin for you to be able to appreciate their art, for example. But if you know that somebody else in idolizing a performer or lionizing them or consuming their material, somebody who is not as firm in their faith might want to really become some super fan of this person and agree with everything they agree with, and you set them down a path where they might make bad decisions and follow that celebrity's occult behavior, then you might have to take a step back and say, even though I have liberty to do this, I don't want to scandalize other people. So each person is going to have to make that decision for themselves. But I would say in general, you're not sinning if you're consuming art and the art is not sinful in itself, it's not pornographic, for example, even if the artist himself engages in other kinds of illicit behaviors.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you like this Catholic Answer, be sure to like, subscribe, and check out our live streams Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific, or find the episode after on YouTube, your favorite podcast platform, or our Catholic Answers app.